about are not functional.
Right.
All the bus terminals that were commissioned here in the FCT, I don't know if you know of any bus terminal that is functional here in the FCT.
Not
in
to my
fact,
knowledge.
the one in the Kubo axis, was tampered by because of the rain or the wind. Not functional. For something to be credited to a person as an achievement is both the creation and the functionality of that project. So if we just continue to build structures, and these structures mean little to nothing in the lives of Nigerians, what exactly are we doing? In fact, when those terminals were being constructed, my idea is this is like a palliative measure. Transportation would be easier if people have access to these bus terminals, to get about their business and what have you. But as we speak, no buses are available. The terminals are not functional. How then do you credit such an achievement to a person for something created yet not functional?
And some of the defense we've heard this administration talk about is the fact that international observers come into Nigeria and they give Nigeria all of the kudos. World Bank has said a few things talking about Nigeria's economic growth. But the question we ask again is, this is Nigeria, and there are Nigerians living in Nigeria. For you as a person or an administration to come out to say that the administration is doing so well, then you have to be able to hear it from the mouth of the Nigerians that are living the reality as of this time. Now, what many Nigerians are talking about is all against what the presidency or this administration are saying. Again, one, the economic, the purchasing power of Nigerians has drastically dropped, where people can no longer afford basic amenities for themselves. Health care is a big time challenge. Transportation is a big time challenge. People are struggling to feed on a daily basis. Insecurity is on the rise. As a matter of fact, a new video has surfaced online showing some of the teachers and school children they abducted during the attacks on schools in Oyo State. Now, in the video, one of the victims, the vice principal, Mrs. Folawe, appeared distressed, and she pleaded with the federal government, the Oyo State government, and other stakeholders to negotiate with kidnappers instead of using force. Let's get to watch her talk.
We learned that yesterday some army was sent, and that has compounded our problems. It has added to our troubles. In fact, one of us has been picked that they are going to kill him because they use force. We are pleading with you not to force yourself into the bush, but please call them and dialogue with them so that the problem can be solved and we'll be able to go home alive. They have promised to kill all of us if any of the armies come into the bush again. Please, we are pleading with you. We are begging you in the name of God, please.
What a plead. Such a big time plead. Of course, she went further to state that the victims, including the children, they've remained in difficult conditions in the bush. They're exposed to rain, they're exposed to cold and the harsh weather. And this, again, is a big time challenge. And this happened in Oyo State. And the children that were kidnapped has not been rescued. As a matter of fact, I do recall that we did give you an update, and I'm sure that almost all Nigerians, so many Nigerians saw that particular video when one of the teachers that was kidnapped was unalived in a live video by these bandits, the kidnappers as it is. Now, this woman is on pressure. If you could watch the video, if you saw that video, you see a part of the gun that was shown to her, which is to say that she was making that video from a place of fear, pleading on the government, stating to them, these kidnappers are threatening to take their lives if the government continue to use force on them. Now, the government has said that they are on top of the matter to ensure that these individuals, the students and the teachers, they were kidnapped and are still being held under the captivity of their abductors up until now. The government has said that they're on top of their game to ensure that they are being released. The DSS are taking over the case, but up until now, nothing has been done. In fact, just recently I saw that the president had to send the chief of staff and some other members of his cabinet to Oyo State, right, to talk about this kidnapping that had happened. But it's just talks that we want to hear at this point in time. Children's Day was celebrated very recently, and if you saw some of the pictures that were flying around, you see many persons calling on the government to rescue these children. And again, up until now, these children are still left in the captivity of their abductors. Now we ask again, what is the security architecture of Nigeria doing to rescue the lives of these children and teachers that's been kidnapped for a long time?
Honestly, this video and so many others are just what put me off over the weekend, and I just didn't want to interact with anything that had to do with the reality of what we're facing right now in Nigeria. It can be overwhelming. In fact, I was overwhelmed by all of this news, because you just open up your phone and then new videos, new threats. I saw a video where one of the self-acclaimed activists posted online. He was video called by bandits. They showed him ammunitions. I have that video. We'll definitely play that video progressing on the show today. They showed him ammunitions. They were talking about the fact that they're going to locate him, they're going to kidnap him. These people are on live camera. The video called him, took his number from Facebook and called him on WhatsApp.
Wow.
Their pictures are there, their videos are there. We can track a location. Why do we? I believe this saying so much, especially when it comes to security, that if they wanted to, they would.
Right.
Because at this point, it looks like what you claim are your achievements counter what the realities are, like we have established from the start of the show this morning. I mean, other videos online about her husband breaking down, in front of Sheyi Makinde, the governor of that state, and promises being made to them. At this point, all we can do is remind the government that this is their primary responsibility to protect lives, properties, children. And if these people are not protected, it means if children are not safe, the society is not safe at all.
Not at all. Well, I do hope as well that the government can do all it needs to do to ensure that these people are returned back to their families
in one piece.
But that being said, let's give you a rundown of what to further expect in the program this morning. We'll begin with this day in history, where we'll get to dig at deep histories and stories that continue to shape the world that we live in. And away from this day in history, we'll move on to new study, where we get to unearth discoveries and breakthroughs that are reshaping our understanding of the world. And from there, we'll move on to Did You Know, where we get to review surprising facts, hidden truth, and little known wonders that spark curiosity and expand your perspective. And moving on to health tips, where we get to give you a daily dose of awareness, wisdom from smart habits to expert-backed advice. I'll move on from health tips to tech talk, where we get to break down some of the innovations, gadgets, and of course keep you updated in the world of technology. And at 7:30, it will be time for the review of the Nigerian National Dailies. At 8 o'clock, it will be time for the Human Chronicles, where we get to unveil a story behind humanity. 8:30, Victor Ejema is going to be here to keep you updated in the world of sports. And of course, at 9 o'clock, we're back for the big conversation. And today's conversation promises to be more interesting and exciting. And trust us, you want to be part of that conversation. Do stay with us. Just in a moment, we'll be back to continue with the program this morning. Please don't go anywhere.
Every day, Nigerians pay for services, yet many still struggle to get the service they deserve. When service fails, the cost is trust, the cost is time, the cost is opportunity. I'm Cynthia Yinkeri, and this is Customer Experience 360 with Cynthia Yinkeri, where consumers, regulators, and businesses come together to ask the hard questions and demand better service, accountability, and solutions. Join me on Customer Experience 360 every Monday at 3 p.m. on Rapid TV, channel 176 on Star Times. Because service is everyone's business.
Nigeria's economy, the global market, what does it all mean for you? From stock market insights to global financial news you need to know. From Wall Street to the Main Street and of course the marketplace.
Get the answers you need every week on Business Lens as I bring into focus the stories, strategies, and shifts shaping our economy. No angle is missed as I talk about the business, the people, patterns, and possibilities behind them. Welcome to the Business Lens.
Rapid TV, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Rapid Done right here on Rapid Television. Moving on now to Today in History. And on Today in History, on this day in 2008, a major fire broke out at Universal Studios, Hollywood, one of the most famous film studios and theme parks in the United States. The fire started when a worker used a blowtorch to heat roofing materials during maintenance work on a movie set. And of course, after the worker left, some hot spots were not fully cooled, which caused a large fire to break out. And the blaze quickly spread across various parts of the studio's backlot, destroying several movie sets and storage areas in the Hollywood. This particular incident remains one of the most significant fires in the history of Universal Studios in Hollywood. And this was what happened in 2008 right there in Hollywood.
175,000 master audio recordings
Lost.
That's such a tragic loss. And Universal Studio is one of the biggest Hollywood studios, but I mean, they're back up, they're doing well, producing newer movies, and that's the most important thing. Let's move on to a new study. And today, scientists create first universal kidney to match any blood type. This study was published in Nature Biomedical Engineering, which researchers from Canada and China effectively converted a type A human kidney into a universal type O organ. You know, in blood, they'll tell you if you are O positive, you can give literally anybody. It's the same thing with kidneys. When it's an O type O organ, anybody can get it. But when it's a type A human kidney, you know, it's specific for certain people. But now, this biological breakthrough offers like a massive ray of hope for the global organ transplant wait list, where type O patients frequently face the longest wait times. Like O positive, you know, is the rarest, one of the rarest types. So before, they can't just be given blood by anybody, but they can contribute to literally almost everybody. The same thing again with kidney. Type O patients frequently face longest wait times and the highest risk of dying before the compatible match of their kidneys become available. So this process now relies on selective bacterial derived enzyme that is discovered by biochemists at the University of British Columbia. And before surgery, the donor organ is placed inside a specialized perfusion machine that circulates an enzyme infused solution through the blood vessels of the kidneys. Now, these enzymes function like microscopic molecular scissors, precisely sniping off the specific sugar molecules or antigens that define a type A blood. So after that is done, it strips away all of the distant name tags. The organ is transformed into an antigen-free, which is type O blank slate that the recipient's immune system can no longer recognize as foreign. So the time for transplant is cut short. The scarcity of a certain type for a certain blood type is also cancelled, because now when you if you have a type A organ, right, you can now automatically put it in that machine or what have you, that can automatically make it compatible for the next person. But that's what we have for you today on Health Tips. On new study, I keep calling it Health Tips because it's health.
Very true. All right, let's move on to the Juno. And of course, on Juno today, you know, one of the things that came to mind is how close can you be with a person that eventually you decide to go find a whole estate and create a village, you know, where just you and the closest of your friends are going to live for the rest of your life. You guys become so inseparable. That's what we've seen here today. A group of lifelong friends invested their savings to build a small village where they could grow old together. And they've been friends, you know, and they've known each other for more than 20 years. They bought land near the Llano River and built 4 tiny houses close to each other, and they named the project Llano Exit Strategy, also known as Bestie Row. Someone would say that's a bestie go right now. Yeah. According to them, instead of waiting for old age to separate them, they decided to create a place where they could relax, spend time together, and eventually retire side by side. And the village also includes a shared gathering space where they can cook, eat, and enjoy each other's company. And the story has actually inspired many people around the world and shows that friendships can last a lifetime when people make a conscious effort to stay connected. You know that concept about aura for aura? You know, this is a good aura for aura.
Yeah.
You know, not just when someone does you something wrong, you want to return the, you know, the favor to
the
them.
bad favor.
The bad favor. You know, aura for aura should also come with some good tidings and all of that. And this is a good way to actually solidify and consolidate, you know, friendship as it is.
You know, I actually did see a video over the weekend where someone was talking about how friendships are now surface level, that you hardly see people wanting to go all out again for friendships.
Very true.
And the people who actually bathed her are still friends with her mother today, and she's over 30 years. You know, so it means over 30 years of friendship. You know what I mean? So this is also calling like a reflective kind of thing right now, where we now go back to where we uphold friendships as much.
Truly.
All right, let's move on to health tips, and today we're talking about the simple health habit, walking. The simple health habit, walking. And I think we've emphasized time and again here the importance of adding active routine to your, you know, daily activities. Now, a simple but powerful activity. Walking is a low impact exercise that supports both physical and mental health. Now, supports your heart health as well. Regular walking improves blood circulation and then supports a healthier heart. It also helps you to manage your weight. If you walk regularly, it can help you burn calories and support a healthy weight management. It might not be as drastic as sometimes we want our weight loss to be like, or dramatic, you know what I mean? But it is gradual, and it gives you that ease of your body, literally. Also, it can be good for your mental well-being, especially when you do it in green areas. So walking may help reduce stress, it can improve your mood, and can support your mental relaxation. It also strengthens your muscles and your joints. It helps improve balance, flexibility, and muscle strength over time. And finally, on the health tips today, small steps matter. So even short daily walks from your estate gates to your house, from your junction to your gate, you know, all of these very daily walks, no matter how short, contribute to better health and overall wellness. But this is what we have for you today on health tips.
So take a walk today and just ensure that, you know, you're being healthy as well.
Please.
Well, very fun the health tips this morning. Let's move on to Tech Talk, and let's talk about some of the things going on in the world of technology. Now, we see that Nigeria is preparing a major change in television broadcasting, and they're doing this through the digital switch over, which is called the DSO project. Well, according to the Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission, now Charles Ebuebu, the move from analog TV signals to digital broadcasting could help unlock a national advertising market worth about 605.2 billion naira for broadcasters and content creators. The market is opening up even really big this time. Now, digital switchover, or DSO, is the process of replacing old analog television signals with modern digital signals. And what this means for viewer is that viewers are going to receive clearer picture quality, better sound quality, more TV channels, improved signal reception, and new opportunities for interactive services. And if you're wondering why this is important right now, the truth is, with digital broadcasting, more channels can now operate on the same frequency, and this is going to create room for more television stations, more local content creators, more advertising opportunities, and more jobs in the media and creative industry. According to the NBC, they believe that this could significantly increase revenue for broadcasters and content producers across Nigeria. Well, the NBC have picked out some key dates for this to happen. First, the national launch of the digital switchover is going to happen on June 17th, 2026, and the final shutdown of analog television signals is going to happen in December 31st, 2028. And this means that Nigerians that are still using analog TV sets may need a digital television or a set top box before the final switch off date. And I think it's just important that we all transition together right now, especially because you're going to be getting lots of channels on your television, clearer sounds, and even clearer signals on your television, moving from analog to digital. And I think it's a good way to go right now.
Definitely.
Well, away from that story, we see that Meta, which of course is the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, they're expanding beyond advertising by introducing new paid subscription services and premium AI tools. According to Meta, users will soon be able to subscribe to premium versions of its apps for extra features and customization options. Now the question is, what is changing? Meta plans to introduce Instagram Plus. They have to pay $3.99 per month. Facebook Plus, you also have to pay $3.99 or $3.99 per month as well. Then WhatsApp Plus, you also pay $2.99 per month. That is if you are using the upgraded version of WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. In fact, the Plus version, these are the paid versions. So these paid versions, according to them, are designed for users who want more control, customization, and audience engagement tools. And just some things that you might be getting if you use Instagram Plus, some of the things it offers. Users will get access to features such as more profile customization options, better audience insights, expanded story controls, ability to see story replays, and more custom audience lists, longer story visibility, anonymous story previews, and exclusive profile fonts and app icons. If these are some of the things that you desire to see on your Instagram, you just might be able to go for the Plus version. Well, of course, this is all we are going to be taking.
The world is getting creepier by the day. Creepier. I saw a video where a certain pastor was talking about how people who put off their blue ticks on WhatsApp, what exactly do they mean?
That's creepy.
Are there spies? You have disappearing messages on, you have, your blue tick off, anonymous status views, and what have you. I mean, it's getting creepier by the day.
By the day, Actually, I also wonder why that happens, as much as possible. But yeah, Meta has told us you just might be paying for the Plus version of some of these applications that you use on a daily basis. With that being said, we'll go out to the break now. When we'll come back, it will be time for the review of the Nigerian national dailies. To stay with us.
The men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impacts they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on NAS Watch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m.
So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.
Are you missing out on interviews, music, entertainment, thought-provoking discussions, and more? Don't sweat it, man. We've got you covered. No matter where you are, be part of the action 24/7, online and live.
Caesar Radio.
On Facebook, it's Rapid FM Umahia. On Instagram, it's official Rapid FM. And on X, it is Rapid FM 965. Tune in to Rapid 96.5 FM or listen to us live on our website at www.rapidfm965.com or radiogarden.com. Better yet, get our mobile app from the Google Play Store. Catch the pulse of the Southeast on Rapid 96.5 FM, the sound of your city.
Hey, Oyanam, all Caesar Radio.
From the soil beneath our feet to the tables across the world, agriculture is the heartbeat of Nigeria's future. Yet challenges persist. Limited finance, outdated methods, policy gaps, and untapped opportunities. The Green Line is here to change that. A groundbreaking weekly television feature that connects policy with practice, farmers with markets, and innovation with impact. We dig deep into the full agricultural value chain, from land preparation to mechanization, financing, food preservation, exports, and beyond. The Green Line isn't just a show, it's a national development platform. Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. only on Rapid TV, Star Times channel 176, and online at www.rbnradiotv.com.
Correro, your front row seats to the most pressing issues from the corridors of power to the heart of our communities. We bring you unfiltered insight, fearless journalism, and the conversations that matter. And I invite you to this big conversation table as we analyze the top stories, ask the tough questions, and hold power to account. News that informs, analysis that empowers, debate that drives change. Correro, the big conversation, every weekday at 7 p.m. only on Rapid TV.
In a world where every swipe, click, or tap is shaping our future, technology is no longer a distant dream. It is the heartbeat of Africa and the world at large. From innovations to gadgets to startups and digital lifestyles, Tech Up with Victor takes you round. A show that makes technology simple, practical, and exciting for everyone. Join us every week on Rapid TV as we break down tech trends, spotlight African innovators, and connect Africa's digital story to the global stage. Tech Up with Victor, where innovation meets you. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Right now it is time for the review of the Nigerian national dailies, and of course we're starting with the Punch newspaper. On the Punch newspaper, Oyo abduction, NUT strike begins as Tinubu sends 1,000 forest guards. Teachers to hold nationwide rally, shut Oyo schools, NSA, IG visit troubled Oyo communities. And just to give some further details to that story, it reads that President Bola Tinubu on Sunday approved the recruitment of 1,000 forest guards in Oyo State. He also directed a specialized security unit with advanced rescue capabilities to intensify efforts to free abducted pupils and teachers from 3 schools in Orire local government area. This was done as the Nigerian Union of Teachers declared an indefinite strike in Oyo State and announced plans for nationwide solidarity rallies to press the government for the rescue of the kidnapped pupils and teachers. Well, 1,000 forward guards has been approved by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and this, according to them, is to help in the rescue of the kidnapped Oyo teachers and students as well. Banks, bad loans rise after CBN ends forbearance. Bad loans rise after CBN ends forbearance. And Labour rejects 100,000 naira minimum wage proposal. Labour rejects 100,000 naira minimum wage proposal. Well, the Nigerian Labour Congress dismissed the proposal of 100,000 naira minimum wage by the Nigerian Governors Forum, insisting that a realistic living wage under the current economic conditions should be as high as 1 million naira. Well, the Nigerian Labour Congress spokesperson Benson Opa stated this while he was having an interview with newsmen, where his reaction followed comments by the NGF chairman and governor of Kwara State, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, who disclosed that governors were considering a new national minimum wage of 100,000 naira. Recall it was around 70,000 naira. You know, that was approved, and the governors are coming out to say that they're coming out rather to say that. They're proposing a 100,000 naira minimum wage, but of course, Nigeria Labour Congress has stated that under this current economic situation, for everyone to live comfortably, it should be as high as 1 million naira for the minimum wage. Is that going to be possible? Well, that we do not know. But away from that particular headline, US commits $3.5 million to monitor Nigeria's religious violence. US commits $3.5 million to monitor Nigeria's religious violence. Well, these are the headlines on the front page of the Punch newspaper.
On the Daily Independent newspaper, the major headline talks about tax hikes, rising costs drive decline in Nigeria's air travel. And other headlines following that, court hears suit seeking to oust David Mark as ADC chair on the 3rd of June. Serap urges UN chief to invoke Article 99 over Nigeria's security crisis. Serap urges the UN chief to invoke Article 99 over Nigeria's security crisis. Other headlines on the front page of the Daily Independent newspaper reads, IGP warns against indiscriminate sharing of police videos. The IGP warns against indiscriminate sharing of police videos. And APC primaries says Tinubu intervenes to resolve nationwide crisis. Tinubu intervenes to resolve nationwide crisis. He orders suspension of planned protest by Iyaloja General. Lagos APC will follow the National Leadership's Directive, or JLAB. The federal government's economic reforms are yet to fully impact businesses, NECA said. Now, the WEF warns of new inflation shock for Nigeria and others. And finally, on the Daily Independent newspaper, Tinubu okays 1,000 forest guards for Oyo after school abductions, deploys a specialized security unit to rescue pupils and teachers. This is, I think it is over a week.
Yeah, 2 weeks actually.
2 weeks. It took us 2 weeks to realize that we needed to send people into the forest, or whatever measures will be taken. It took us 2 weeks. And how many deaths to realize that we needed to be proactive. But these are the headlines on the front page of the Daily Independent newspaper.
Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. Obafemi Awolowo Future Leaders Fellowship Program opens applications across Africa diaspora. Tinubu approves recruitment of 1,000 forest guards. Talking about the Oyo abduction. Tinubu approves recruitment of 1,000 forest guards. Deploys special rescue team. COS, NSA, IGP, Defense Minister, others visit community. NUT declares strike in Oyo as they hold nationwide solidarity rallies today. Makinde cautions against protests, says public demonstrations could embolden kidnappers. NNPC generates 5 trillion naira revenue as crude oil output hits 1.68 million barrels per day. And Benga Hashim emerges Accord Party presidential candidate. On the health column, cancer jab can eradicate entire tumors in patients, according to what trial has shown. It says cancer jab can eradicate entire tumors in patients, trial shows. But these are the headlines on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune.
Let's take a look at the Vanguard newspaper. The headlines, major says education, medical tourism drive foreign travel spending to $6 billion. Education, medical tourism drive foreign travel spending to $6 billion. Education-related travel gulps $2.84 billion. Foreign airlines dominate travel tickets. It highlights systemic failures. This is what experts say. Empowering the last mile. Okay, that's a different headline. The governors face fierce battles to retain seats and produce successors. About Oyo kidnap, Tinubu deploys 1,000 forest guards and tactical team sends Ribadu, IGP, Defense Minister, to Oyo. And terrorists want to talk to government, not family. Alamu, principal's husband. Abductions and killings refer Nigeria to Security Council. Sarab urged the United Nations chief to invoke Article 99 on Nigeria's security crisis. And this call was made to the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres to invoke this Article 99 of the UN Charter and draw the attention of the UN Security Council to Nigeria's deepening security crisis. Now, according to them, they were saying that this move has become necessary in view of the rising wave of abductions, killings, attack on civilians, widespread displacements, basically, of persons and other serious human rights concerns here in Nigeria. Now, according to Sarab, they were urging the United Nations chief to take urgent steps to place Nigeria's deteriorating security situation before the Security Council for consideration and possible action. This was done on the 30th of May, which was yesterday, or on Saturday rather, and signed by Sarab Deputy Director Kolawale Oluwadare. And the UN Article 99 of the UN Charter is designed precisely for situations in which, emerging or ongoing crises require urgent preventive diplomacy, sustained international scrutiny, and coordinated international action. And according to them, we are currently facing these things spoken about in Article 99, which means that interventions are also very necessary. But yes, we'll see what the response of the UN chief would be eventually. Now, I think these are the major headlines you'll find on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper.
All right, moving on to the Nation newspaper. On the Nation newspaper, APC, ADC, others begin post-primary fence mending. APC, ADC, others begin post-primary fence mending. But of course, all of the parties had their rancors, and party members had their grievances as well. From the APC to the ADC, to the Accord and other parties, they had their rancors within. But of course, according to the headlines, they have begun their post-primary fence mending. Oyo kidnap 1,000 forest guards to join search. Government delegation visits community. Teachers begin strike. Parties to submit candidates list from June 27th as INEC sticks to timetable. Olawepo, Hashim's Accord standard bearer. Olawepo, or Hashim rather, is Accord standard bearer. Flutterwave promotes over 100 employees, launches global relief package in this time. And First Hold Co secures shareholder approval for 1 trillion naira capital, signaling bold strategic resets. These are the headlines on the front page of the Nation newspaper. On the New Telegraph, and still celebration of, according to Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, 3 years of purposeful leadership, all covered up on the front page of the New Telegraph. But a few headlines over here says, the federal workers threaten nationwide strike over insecurity and wages. Reject gas of 100,000 naira consideration and insist on 1 million naira. UAE relaxes visa restrictions on Nigeria and trade hits $5 billion. That's how powerful your visas or your tickets are to these people. Now, ex-political allies foes set for battle as 2027 presidential candidates emerge. You'd see that Q1 of 2026, financial sector imputes to GDP up 8.5%
to 1.93 trillion naira. These are the headlines on the front page of the New Telegraph.
On the Daily Times, Oyo school abduction. Tinubu approves 1,000 forest guards, deploys rescue team. Nigeria's food import bill falls to $2.34 billion despite rising FX utilization. Nigeria's food import bill falls to $2.34 billion despite rising FX utilization. This is according to the CBN. Well, the Daily Times celebrates a century of shaping Nigeria's story. Wow, that's a long time they've been in existence there. But of course, these are the headlines you can find on the front page of the Daily Times newspaper.
On the Daily Sun newspaper, Oyo abduction still takes the headline. It says that Tinubu approves 1,000 forest guards, deploys special rescue team. Kidnapped principal's husband weeps and begs Makinde to bring victims home. Atiku shops for VP candidates in the southeast and south-south, and the court to hear Nafiu Bala's case against Mark and Aregbesola. These are the headlines on the front page of the Sun newspaper.
Let's move on to the Daily Trust. On the Daily Trust newspaper, it reads how General Rabi's wife were ambushed, abducted in Katsina. And while court is in favor of DSS operatives in a defamatory suit against Serap. Well, if you look at the picture stories there, you are going to see, according to the Buni administration, it says, of course, the key number aggregates in 3 different sectors, things that have been achieved there, from road construction to agriculture to healthcare. These are some of the achievements by the Buni administration at 7 there. But of course, these are the headlines you're going to find on the front page of the Daily Trusts.
And on business day, new stock trading rule promises quicker cash for investors. The tribunal sacks 4 directors from board of premium pension on ground of being politically exposed. And Dangote named Africa's most admired brand for the 8th consecutive year. Dangote named Africa's most admired brand for the 8th consecutive year. You find that on page 30 of the Business Day newspaper. Tinubu and Makinde set up special forces as terrorists turn schools into hunting grounds. We are on the Business Day newspaper. Tinubu and Makinde set up special forces as terrorists turn schools into hunting grounds. And First Holdco secures shareholder approval for 1 trillion capital, signaling bold strategic reset. These are the headlines on the front page of the Business Day newspaper, and this of course concludes for us the review of the Nigerian national dailies this morning. We'll head out now and we'll be back at 8 o'clock for the Human Chronicles. Please stay with us.
Correro, your front row seat to the most pressing issues from the corridors of power to the heart of our communities. We bring you unfiltered insight, fearless journalism, and the conversations that matter. And I invite you to this big conversation table as we analyze the top stories, ask the tough questions, and hold power to account. News that informs, analysis that empowers, debate that drives change. Correro, the big conversation, every weekday at 7 p.m. only on Rapid TV.
In a world where every swipe, click, or tap is shaping our future, technology is no longer a distant dream. It is the heartbeat of Africa and the world at large. From innovations to gadgets to to startups and digital lifestyle. Tech Up with Victor takes you round. A show that makes technology simple, practical, and exciting for everyone. Join us every week on Rapid TV as we break down tech trends, spotlight African innovators, and connect Africa's digital story to the global stage. Tech Up with Victor, where innovation meets you.
Meet the men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impact they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on NAS Watch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m. So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.
On this journey as your host.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on Star Times Channel 176, Nightcomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. The sound of your city. Rooted in truth, driven by impact.
From the soil beneath our feet to the tables across the world, agriculture is the heartbeat of Nigeria's future. Yet challenges persist. Limited finance, outdated methods, policy gaps, and untapped opportunities. The Green Line is here to change that. A groundbreaking weekly television feature that connects policy with practice, farmers with markets, and innovation with impact. We dig deep into the full agricultural value chain, from land preparation to mechanization, financing, food preservation, exports, and beyond. The Green Line isn't just a show, it's a national development platform. Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. only on Rapid TV, Star Times Channel 176, and online at www.rbnradiotv.com.
Meet the men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impacts they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on NAS Watch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m. So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.
Magic has hit your imagination of TV. A brand new sundial with StarTimes inbuilt technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTimes antenna and satellite signal. StarTimes Sundial TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTimes highest bouquet for free, automatic system update. More benefits, more affordable. StarTimes Sundial TV is available in all StarTimes branches and dealers countrywide. StarTimes Inside, entertainment inbuilt.
Joseph. Name is Martha Alu.
My name is Victor Arke.
My name is Divine Alex.
My name is Esther Ben.
My name is Arthur James Brooks.
My name is Godwin Sunday.
I am Ijoma Victor.
My name is Cynthia Agbo.
Josephine Bitru.
I bet you already know that this is
Rapid Television.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on StarTimes Channel 176, Nigecomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting
but
Network,
not the man
RBN,
called
the sound of your city, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
From the soil beneath our feet to the tables across the world, agriculture is the heartbeat of Nigeria's future. Yet challenges persist: limited finance, outdated methods, policy gaps, and untapped opportunities. The Green Line is here to change that. A groundbreaking weekly television feature that connects policy with practice, farmers with markets, and innovation with impact. We dig deep into the full agricultural value chain, from land preparation to mechanization, financing, food preservation, exports, and beyond. The Green Line isn't just a show, it's a national development platform. Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. only on Rapid TV, StarTimes Channel 176, and online at www.rbnradiotv.com.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Right now, it is time for the Human Chronicles, where we get to unveil the story behind humanity. Of course, you're still watching Rapidon, right here on Rapid Television. And of course, today we are going to be spotlighting the story. It's called the Abacha loot. Now, during the administration of Abacha, from 1993 to 1998, the Abacha loot was estimated to be around $5 billion to $9 billion. But of course, currently about $3.9 billion has been repatriated from countries like Switzerland, and the UK, and of course the US as well. But one thing that stood out, or that's still a controversy, is tracking the utilization of that money. But let's go ahead and watch a video that narrates the Abacha loot.
The streets. While the average Nigerian citizen was told to endure hardship and recession, Abacha was taking as much as $114,000 every single hour, 24 hours a day, for himself for 5 years straight. This is a story of how to turn a sovereign nation into a private ATM. This is how to make $5 billion disappear within a twinkle. In this edition of Back in History, we take you back in time to one of the most audacious daylight looting of the national treasury in human history. General Sani Abacha seized power in 1993 and died in office in 1998. In those 5 short years, he ruled Nigeria while treating the national treasury like a personal ATM. But does a person actually walk away with $5 billion without being tackled by security? It is not like you can hide $5 billion in your socks. You can't fit such huge amount of money in a suitcase. Abacha carried out this loot without a mask. He perfected a simple 3-step system of legalized looting. Step 1, the fake emergency. He would create a false alarm, a fake national security crisis that required what he called immediate funding. Step 2, the personal memo. He would sign a single sheet of paper ordering the Central Bank of Nigeria to release hundreds of millions in cash, US dollars, British pounds, whatever foreign currency was available in the vault of the Central Bank of Nigeria at the time. Step 3, the delivery. Trucks would arrive at the Central Bank of Nigeria, load the cash, and drive straight to Abacha's private residence. Once the money landed in his residence, it officially vanished from everyone's sight. But that was just phase 1. To keep that money, to make it appear clean, he needed the world's most prestigious banks in London and Switzerland. Between 1993 and 1998, Abacha's friends and associates opened over 140 different bank accounts across the globe. And they did not use small banks, they used the giants. Names like Goldman Sachs, Citibank, HSBC, and Barclays Bank. Abacha's friends and associates would set up shell companies, businesses that exist only on paper. These companies had no offices, no employees, and no products. They were just Lego folders in a filing cabinet. Then, they would walk into a bank in London or Switzerland and deposit the money under the name of the shell company. In the 1990s, banking regulations were incredibly loose. If you showed up with $20 million in cash, many banks did not ask where it came from. All they asked was where you wanted the money to be invested in and how. Once the money hit a Swiss or British account, it had officially become laundered. It was now part of the global financial system. From there, it could be used anywhere in the world. It was used to buy luxury real estates in the United Kingdom or even stocks in American companies. These banks are supposed to check where big money comes from, but they did not. They accepted millions of dollars from Abacha's associates for 5 years, allowing the stolen wealth to be hidden in safe private accounts across the globe. Abacha did this for 5 years. But we have to be honest here. Abacha did not do this alone. In this multi-billion-dollar loot, if the general was the thief, the global banking system was his getaway driver. It is not like these famous elite banks made a simple mistake that can be ignored. They actually provided the engine and the fuel for $5 billion to escape Nigeria. They chose massive profits over their own ethics. By looking the other way, these famous banks became silent partners in destroying Nigeria's future. They proved that if you named the right price, the world's biggest banks don't care where your money comes from, even if it is stolen from the pockets of 100 million people. However, since the Abacha era, Know Your Customer (KYC) laws were drastically tightened because of cases like this. By the time Abacha died in 1998, his family had built a financial empire that ran across at least 10 different countries. Meanwhile, the Nigerian government was broke, the country was in debt, salaries were unpaid, the hospitals had no medicine, Nigeria was falling apart financially. But in secret vaults in London and Jersey, billions of Nigerian tax dollars were sitting quietly, earning interest for one single family and also earning interest for the banks. The loot was perfect. It was invisible. It was legal. It was working. But then, Sani Abacha died. And the world's banks suddenly remembered that they were holding stolen property. But the true weight of the $5 billion came at a human cost. While Sani Abacha was draining the Central Bank of Nigeria, he was using the money to fund a violent military campaign in the Niger Delta region to keep the oil money flowing. The most infamous moment came in 1995 with the execution of the Ogoni 9. This group of activists led by writer Ken Saro-Wiwa were killed simply for protesting how oil production was destroying their environment while the profits went straight to the pockets of the elites. The execution of the Ogoni 9 was the turning point. It turned Nigeria into an international outcast and got the country suspended from the Commonwealth. But ironically, this global isolation actually helped the looting. As Western diplomats pulled out, Abacha's looting went into full speed. He knew his time might be short, so the panic phase began. He was now moving money faster through deeper shell companies and into even more obscure accounts. June 8, 1998, General Sani Abacha is confirmed dead. The official cause of death, according to the government, was a heart attack. But on the street of Nigeria, nobody believed the official story. Instead, a wilder tale became part of the country's history. People began to whisper that poisoned apples and a late-night party with foreign women of easy virtue was what claimed the life of Sani Abacha. Whether his heart simply failed or it was a movie-style assassination, the man they called the Khalifa was gone in an instant. Articles, blogs, radio stations all carried the headline, "The dictator is gone, but the $5 billion he moved into the global banking system is still there. It is still in accounts in London, Zurich in Germany, and New York in America, quietly earning interest for the banks and for the family." When Nigeria transitioned back to a civilian government in 1999, the new president Olusegun Obasanjo made a discovery. He realized that the treasury of Nigeria was empty. Nigeria started a global legal war to get the money back, but the banks that took the money now refused to return it. The same banks that were happy to take the dirty cash in the 90s, all of a sudden were now worried about ethics. They used, quote, privacy rules, lack of evidence, and legal paperwork to delay the process for 25 years. And in these many years, the banks continued to make profits. Eventually, countries like Switzerland started to crack under pressure. They froze the money and decided to return it. But they did not trust the Nigerian government to spend it honestly. They feared it would just be stolen again by the country's next leaders. It was an insult to the Nigerian government, but unfortunately it was true. So what Switzerland did was to invest a system called repatriation tranches. They only sent the money back in small pieces and forced Nigeria to immediately spend it on specific projects like the second Niger Bridge or Cash for the Poor, while international observers watched every kobo spent. So when 300 to specific projects like the second Niger Bridge, Nigeria got its money back, but it lost its right to choose how to spend the money. It is 2026 already. General Sani Abacha has been dead for nearly 30 years, but here is the most incredible part of this story. We are still finding his money. In 2022, $23 million came back from the United States. And as recently as late 2024 and early 2025, investigators were still tracing hundreds of millions of dollars through accounts in France and the United Kingdom. But why is it taking 30 good years to get the money back? It is because of how banks work. When Abacha put $5 billion into global stocks and high interest yielding accounts in the 1990s, that money did not just sit there, it grew. The original $5 billion has become a tree. What the government has been doing over the years is merely pluck the fruit, while the tree, the original $5 billion, is sitting there and continuously growing because the money was invested in high interest accounts. But the real tragedy isn't just the $5 billion, it is the opportunity cost. What Nigeria could have become if that money tree had been planted at home in Nigeria. Think about what $5 billion could have bought Nigeria in 1998. It could have built a national power grid that actually worked. It could have modernized every university in the country. It could have built a healthcare system that would have saved millions of lives over the last 3 decades. Instead, that money spent 30 years sitting in vaults in London and Switzerland helping foreign banks grow their own economies, while Nigeria's infrastructure kept falling apart. We are celebrating the return of money today, but we can never recover the time. We can never recover the 30 years of growth that was stolen along with the cash. The Abacha loot isn't just a haze story from the 90s. It is a life case study in how a single leader in Africa used the central bank of his country and global finance to seize the wealth of an entire nation. Abacha's loot will continue to be a subject of discourse in Nigeria, Africa, and other continents of the world for many more years to come. Thank you for watching this edition of Back in History. If you want more facts,
well, that was the story of the Abacha loot. Abacha was in office again from 1993 up until 1998 when he died. But before his passing, he had already looted about $5 billion to $9 billion. And up until today, some of those monies are still being repatriated. Now, in 1998 to 2007, about $2 billion were recovered or was recovered and returned from Switzerland and United Kingdom. In 2018, Switzerland repatriated $322 million. And in 2020, the United States and Bailiwick of Jersey repatriated an additional $311.7 million. And in 2022, the US and the UK agreed to return $23.4 million of traced asset, which has led to or accumulated to about $3.6 billion that has been recovered thus far, from the $9 billion that was looted from Abacha in the 1993 towards 1998. And one of the things that the narrator talked about was the fact that when the Nigerian government, the Olusegun Obasanjo's administration, came into power, discovered that the national treasury was empty, he went on to begin to fight for the repatriation of all of those funds to come back to Nigeria. And the Switzerland government, and other foreign government, made mention that they cannot return. They feared that if they return the money in large chunk to the Nigerian government, that the possibility of the money being restolen is going to happen again. And hence they began to send the monies in batches. That was why they created the repatriation tranches. They'll be sending Nigeria's money, in batches. And the Nigerian government are expected to spend those money on projects. Now, some of this money that has been repatriated, it is still a struggle to actually trace the project that the monies has been used for, and which also have led to a controversy around the return or repatriation of this money beyond the Abacha loot thus far. But of course, your conclusion thoughts there on that particular issue as well.
Well, you have said literally everything, and the narration was very, precise in what he said about the loot. But you can hear towards the end where he spoke about stolen 30 years of the growth of Nigeria.
Truly.
And you see, imagine one person doing that, and imagine multiple people doing the exact same thing. Loot here, loot there. In the last couple of years, I would say in 2-3 years, I can't even begin to imagine the number of people that are being prosecuted for loot. We have ex-power minister, we have Malami, we have a number of people that have looted. These are not millions, they are billions of dollars. This is where we still find ourselves. One man setting the trajectory of what stealing should look like in a nation, and then people following his footsteps and wanting to do even worse than what he had done. But you see, this is how to crumble a nation, to steal from it.
True.
Greed, this is pretty much what Abacha story tells us. And till date, as we speak, the loot is still being brought back to Nigeria. And the part where you spoke about, listen, we don't want to bring it in large chunks so it will not be stolen yet again. I wanted to know if you had data on how the monies that are even being brought back in the small chunks are being spent. We still don't have any way at all to track that. But this is where we find ourselves, and somehow we're going to get out of it.
We hope so. But of course, this is all we're going to be taking on this segment as well. 8:30 precisely, Victor Ejema is going to be here. He's already standing by to come keep you updated in the world of sports. And of course, at 9 o'clock, we're back for the big conversation. Just stay with us.
Correro, your front row seat to the most pressing issues, from the corridors of power to the heart of our communities. We bring you unfiltered insight, fearless journalism, and the conversations that matter. And I invite you to this big conversation table as we analyze the top stories, ask the tough questions, and hold power to account. News that informs, analysis that empowers, debate that drives change. Correro, The Big Conversation, every weekday at 7 p.m. only on Rapid TV.
In a world where every swipe, click, or tap is shaping our future, technology is no longer a distant dream. It is the heartbeat of Africa and the world at large. From innovations to gadgets to startups and digital lifestyles, Tech Up with Victor takes you round. A show that makes technology simple, practical, and exciting for everyone. Join us every week on Rapid TV as we break down tech trends, spotlight African innovators, and connect Africa's digital story to the global stage. Tech Up with Victor, where innovation meets you.
Meet the men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impacts they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on NAS Watch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m.
So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.
My name is Faith Dafa Joseph. Name is Martha Alu.
My name is Victor Arke.
My name is Divine Alex.
My name is Esther Ben.
My name is Arthur James Brooks.
My name is Godwin Sunday.
I am Ijoma Victor.
My name is Cynthia Agbo.
Josephine Bitru.
I bet you already know that this is
Rapid Television.
Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on StarTimes Channel 176, Nightcomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. The sound of your city, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
Meet the men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impacts they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on NAS Watch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m. So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.
My name is Faith Dafa Joseph.
Name is Martha Alu.
My name is Victor Arke.
My name is Divine Alex.
My name is Esther Ben.
My name is Arthur James Brooks.
My name is Godwin Sunday.
I am Ijoma Victor.
My name is Cynthia Agbo.
Josephine Bitru.
I bet you already know that this is
Rapid Television.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on StarTimes Channel 176, Nigecomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. The sound of your city, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
Magic has hit your imagination of TV. A brand new sundial with StarTimes inbuilt technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTimes antenna and satellite signal. StarTimes Sundial TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTimes highest bouquet for free, automatic system update. More benefits, more affordable. StarTimes Sundial TV is available in all StarTimes branches and dealers countrywide. StarTimes Inside, entertainment inbuilt.
From the heart of Africa, where dreams are born and passion is boundless, a new wave of talent rises. In La Liga, these extraordinary athletes are not just playing the game, they're transforming it.
Danny Rodriguez, the man chasing, it's Lamine Yamal! What a magnificent goal that
They
is!
shine on the world stage. Watch as they redefine football, inspire millions, and make history. La Liga, where dreams become reality.
It is a brand new day, a brand new working week, and a brand new month. Welcome to the month of June. Well, trust your weekend was beautiful. We're talking about the weekend being beautiful. Well, it's a mixed reactions for fans across the board from the weekend. Yes, fans even from Chelsea and Manchester United, including Arsenal, reacting to what happened in Budapest. Talking about the finals of the UEFA Champions League 2025-2026 season. Yes, many Arsenal fans were heartbroken, believing that they will go all far after 20 years of not lifting the trophy. They believe they could go all out, but we could see the consistency in the Arsenal team since the arrival of Mikel Arteta. From the Europa League, we were able to gain, that promotion and that consistency to get to the UEFA Champions League. Consistently, we were in second position until we lifted the English Premier League, and now again, last season we were in the semi-finals. And this season in the finals, you never can tell what will happen in the 2026-2027 season. Okay, welcome to the Monday edition of Rapid Sport Highlights on the Breakfast Show. I am Ijoma Victor. Now we begin with the UEFA Champions League played over the weekend in at the Arendt Bulls Arena in Budapest, where Paris Saint-Germain have retained their Champions League trophy after beating Arsenal via penalty kickoff. Yes, by penalty kick. Now the game had ended 1-0 after 120 minutes. Now the Gunners took the lead through Kai Havertz early in the 3rd minute after he raced through and finished sharply. Now Mikel Arteta's men remained irresolute until PSG were awarded a penalty after Christian Maquera fouled Varashilia in the box. Now it was Ousmane Dembele who stepped up and sent David Raya the wrong way. Now the game eventually went into penalty shootout, where Iberici Eze and Gabriel Magalhaes missed for Arsenal. PSG have now become the first team to win the Champions League back-to-back in its new format. Now away from Budapest, we head straight to London, where Super Eagles successfully defended their Unity Cup title following a 3-0 victory over Jamaica in the Valley on Saturday. Head coach Eric Chell made just one change to the side that started the semi-final victory over the Warriors of Zimbabwe, with Rafael Durosimi replacing Philip Otele. Nigeria pinned the Jamaicans back in the opening minute and scored the curtain raiser in the 3rd minute through Al-Hassan Yusuf. Now the Super Eagles continued their dominance with Murphy netting Nigeria's 2nd goal minutes before the half-hour mark. Now Yusuf scored the 2nd and Nigeria's 3rd of the game on the dot of 90 minutes. Now the Warriors of Zimbabwe finished 3rd after beating India 1-0 in the 3rd place finals. Now still with the Super Eagles, head coach Eric Chen has intensified speculation surrounding Victor Osimhen's future after revealing that the striker was omitted from Nigeria's upcoming international friendly against Poland and Portugal due to uncertainty over his club situations. Now Osimhen, who recently enjoyed a successful spell with Turkish champions Galatasaray, has been heavily linked with high-profile transfer this summer. Now reports across Europe have connected the Nigerian forward with several elite clubs, including Madrid, Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, and the likes. Now Osimhen, who recently enjoyed a successful spell with Turkish champions Galatasaray, has been heavily linked with those clubs. Now let's also tell you that speaking after the Unity Cup media briefing, Shell explained that the decision to leave Osimhen out of the squad was taken to allow the striker focus on resolving his club future rather than splitting attention between transfer negotiations and international duty. Now the coach comments have further fueled speculation, probably expectations that the 26-year-old could be on the move during the summer transfer windows. Now Osimhen is among several key players unavailable for the friendlies, but Chell remains confident in the ability of his squad to compete against 2 strong European opponents. Now, still with that particular report coming from the Super Eagles, Chel also admitted that Nigeria's failure to qualify for the FIFA World Cup remains a source of disappointment for him, adding extra motivations for the upcoming fixtures. Now, Super Eagles are expected to use the friendly against Poland and Portugal as part of their preparations for future international competitions and the next phase of their rebuilding process under Eric Scher. The three-time African champions will face Poland on the 3rd of June and trade tackles with Portugal on the 10th of June. Meanwhile, Victor Osimhen has insisted that remarks made by Super Eagles head coach Eric Scher regarding his club future were taken out of context and exaggerated by a section of the media. Now, reacting to the comment, Osimhen insisted that Scher's remark had been misinterpreted and taken out of context. According to him, he said, and I quote, "I just got off the phone with coach Eric Scher regarding the comment about me in his recent interview," Osimhen wrote on Instagram. Unfortunately, his words have been taken out of context and blown out of proportion. He has great respect for Galatasaray, following most of our games, and never intended to create any controversy. I appreciate the conversation and the opportunity to represent my country, and I look forward to continuing to work with him. He is a great coach whom I respect a lot, and I kindly ask everyone to disregard the speculations surrounding this matter. Thank you for your consistent support. Now, looking at what's happening with Eric Scher making that comment, of course, whether we like it or not, there's no smoke without fire. Eric Scher must have said that without, having any second thought of what's going to happen. Truly, even Galatasaray has made it open that any club coming to get Victor Osimhen will definitely pay for him, and it's an opportunity for Gala to cash out. But maybe they didn't want to see Victor coming from this angle, and that is why he didn't feature for the Unity Cup and also the friendly that will come up with Poland and also Portugal. But for now, I think in my own faith, Osimhen should relax. It has been a very tough season for him. Allow fringe of players and allow Eric Scher to continue his experiment of bringing new players to the Super Eagles. Ademola Lookman will also not be available. A report also coming from the Riyadh Wada Metropolitano, that's the home ground of Atletico de Madrid, have said Ademola should also rest because he has really had a tough season since he moved from Italy to Spain. So let's see how it goes. Super Eagles will be in action on the 3rd of June, just 2 days from now, as they take on Poland, and then they will take on Portugal on the 10th of June, before Portugal will jet out for the World Cup. Now let's head straight to female football, where Nigeria's Flamingos delivered a commanding performance to trash Guinea 6-0 in the second leg of their 2026 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifiers at the Remo Stars Stadium in Ikenne on Sunday. Now, the victory saw Akim Busari's side progress to the next round with an emphatic 11-0 aggregate scoreline after their 5-0 first leg win in Conakry. Now, it was Oluwakemi Adegbuyi who opened scoring in the 9th minute, setting the tone for a dominant display by the host. Captain Harmony Chidi doubled Nigeria's advantage in the 21st minute before Queen Joseph made it 3-0 just 2 minutes later. Adegbuyi grabbed her second goal of the game in the 28th minute, while Chidi completed her brace 6 minutes later after being set up by Adegbuyi. Now the Flamingos added one more goal after the break, with a Precious Oscar finding the back of the net to complete the 6-0 rout. Nigeria will now await their next opponent in the race for a place at the 2026 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Now, still with female football, Super Falcons head coach Justin Madugu has unveiled a 23 players squad for the POP upcoming international friendly doubleheader against the Lioness of Senegal as Nigeria continues preparations for the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON. Now the squad is led by Captain Rashidat Ajibade, star goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie, and veteran forward Asisat Oshoala. It also featured the return of experienced players including Ngozi Okobi Okegene, forward Francisca Odega, and Gift Monday. Foreign-based talent Blessing Nko from Belarus and Kafayat Shitu from Turkey have earned their call-up also, while several home-based and overseas players have been included to strengthen the squad. Notable inclusion are home-based goalkeeper, who are also included in the person of Adeline Ngbechi. They will also have an England-based defender, Rofiat Imora. They will have an Israel-based goalkeeper, Sikiratu Isa, as well as Tosi Demihin, Alimatu Ayinde, Tony Payne, Folashade Ijamilusi, and Joy Omewa. Now, recent league champions Christy Uchebe, Shikurat Oladipo, and Omorishola Babajide have also been selected. The Super Falcons will face Senegal in the 2 friendly matches at the Remo Stars Sports Complex in Ikene, in Ogun State. Now, the first match will take place on June 5th, and the second match will take place on Sunday, June 8th. Now, both games serve as crucial preparations for the 2026 WAFCON scheduled to take place in Morocco from July 26 to August 16. Let's also tell you that Senegal have been drawn in Group A alongside hosts Morocco, Algeria, and Kenya. Nigeria, 10 times African champions, are placed in Group C with Egypt, Zambia, and debutant Malawi. Now the tournament doubles as Africans qualifiers for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil, and the top 4 teams will qualify automatically, while the 5th place team will advance to an intercontinental playoffs. Super Falcons squad for Senegal friendlies include Chiamaka Nnadozie, Comfort Ehabo, and Adeline Ngbechi, all in the goalkeeping department. Shukurat Oladipo, Rufiat Imorun, Glory Ogbonna, Olua Tosi Demihin, Sikuratu Isa, and Blessing Ivieda, Christy Uchebe are the defenders, and Rashidat Ajibade, Alimatu Ayinde, Ngozi Okobi Okogene, Tony Payne, Jennifer Echejini, Kafiat Shitu are the midfielders, and the forward we have Ashisha Toshola, Gift Monday, Joy Emewa, Francisca Odega, Folashade Ijamilusi, Omorishola Babajide, and Blessing Nko. Now the friendly will give Coach Madugu an important opportunity to assess squad depth and fine-tune tactics ahead of Nigeria's title defense in Morocco. I will head straight to Turkey, where Trabzonspor forward Paul Onuachu has won the Turkish Super League Goal of the Season's award. Onuachu won the award for his spectacular scissors kick finish in Trabzonspor 4-2 victory over Fatih Kamarok last September. Now, Paul Onuachu enjoyed a sensational debut campaign with Trabzonspor after joining the Turkish club from English side Southampton last summer. Now, the towering striker finished as joint top scorer in the 2025-26 Turkish Super League with 22 goals, sharing the Golden Boot award with Istanbul Beşiktaş forward Eldor Shomurodov. By achieving the feat, Onuachu becomes only the 6th player in Trabzonspor's history to end a season as a league's top scorer, further etching his name into the club's folklore. Let's also tell you that Nigeria International registered 26 goals and 2 assists in 43 appearances across all competitions for the Clarent and Blue, underlining his importance to the team's success. Now, his prolific form, provided instrumental to Trabzonspor's impressive campaign and reinforced his reputation as one of the most lethal forward in Turkish football. And still looking at Trabzonspor, he capped over an impressive season by winning the Turkish Cup for the record-extending 10th time, edging Kanyospor 2-1 in his trailing final. Onuachu was the hero of the night, scoring both goals to inspire the Black Sea Storms to victory and underline his importance to the team. Fellow Nigerians Chibuike Iwowu and Anthony Wakeme were also part of Transport Triumph squad, sharing in the club's historic achievement. And finally, we head straight to athletics, where Nigeria's sprint hurdling sensation Tobi Amusun continued her impressive 2026 season with a commanding victory in the women's 100 meters hurdles at the Rabat Diamond League on Sunday. The 29-year-old Olympic and world champion, powered to the finish line with a time of 12.28 seconds, equaling her season's best time and stamping her authority on the event. Now, Amusun's strong performance reaffirmed her position as one of the world's top hurdlers as she built momentum towards the major championship later this year. Bamia's athlete Devi Charlton finished with a time of 12.40 seconds, while Dutch hurdler Nadine Visser claimed third place with a time of 12.47 seconds. Now the win marks another milestone for the Nigerian star on the Diamond League circuit. Now Amusun has shown remarkable consistency with this season, and her latest result in Rabat highlight her sharp form and readiness for a high-stake competition ahead. Now, widely regarded as Africa's premier female hurdler, Amusun's victory is Morocco adds to her growing collection of strong performances in the 2026 and will likely boost her confidence as she targets more titles on the international stage. And it is match day live, looking at the third place game of the African Under-17 Nations Cup, where host nation Morocco will take on another North African side, Egypt. Now that game will go down precisely at about 8 p.m. a battle for the bronze medal. Meanwhile, the final of the African Under-17 will be played tomorrow between Tanzania and the Young Lions of Senegal. And this is where we blow the final whistle on the show this morning, this beautiful day, 1st of June 2026. The big conversation comes up precisely at about 9 a.m. with Martha and Victor RK. Do have yourself a beautiful month ahead. Good morning.
From the heart of Africa, where dreams are born and passion is boundless, a new wave of talent rises. In La Liga, these extraordinary athletes are not just playing the game, they're transforming it.
Danny Rodriguez, the man chasing, it's Lamine Yamal! What a magnificent goal that
They
is!
shine on the world stage. Watch as they redefine football, inspire millions, and make history. La Liga, where dreams become reality.
the men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impacts they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on NAS Watch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m. So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.
My name is Faith Dafa Joseph. Name is Martha Alu.
My name is Victor Arke.
My name is Divine Alex.
My name is Esther Ben.
My name is Arthur James Brooks.
My name is Godwin Sunday.
I am Ijoma Victor.
My name is Cynthia Agbo.
Josephine Bitru.
I bet you already know that this is
Rapid Television.
In 2017, Konak Foundation launched an expanded skills acquisition program in partnership with accredited vocational centers to train youths and women in various trade skills, at the end of which financial support will be provided to enable them start viable business ventures. Furthermore, we had secured partnership for our entrepreneurship development program to provide intensive training with a robust curriculum in business management to registered participants.
I really thank Konak Foundation for this wonderful
COFE program was launched.
This is Konak Foundation Entrepreneurship Initiative, COFE, and I'm super excited to welcome everyone to this event. This event was planned as part of our 10 years in existence. So to celebrate our 10 years of existence, we are opening our Entrepreneurship Initiative program to youths in all the states of the Federation. The Foundation's Entrepreneurship Development Scheme, COFE, provides a platform where youths can bring their business ideas to life and learn new business skills. It offers support to young people who intend to create new business ventures and also open avenues for expansion to existing businesses through our 3-month entrepreneurship training program
Over 10,000 participants nationwide were trained in soft skills through an e-learning platform.
Well, as you've been told, this life class is just a summary of what you have learned. You've been learning all this as an academic thing, but we're going to break it down for you, domesticate it in such a way that some of the examples, the issues you are going to raise will be things that will make you understand. An entrepreneur, you're not going to
of Principal Gate Enterprises. It's Principal Gate Enterprises. We are into research and development. Into research as an entrepreneur, I saw that Nigerians have been crying for some time now because of energy crisis. The cooking gas has risen up to a very high point and everybody is crying. Even you seated there, you are also crying. So as an entrepreneur, I'm trying to cash in into the problem. So I provided a solution, which is what I call Ruben Kerogas.
One of the problems that Nigeria is facing is on health issue, and the health issue is majorly caused by what we consume. So for this reason, Decent NK is ready to provide a well-refined, 100% organic palm oil for consumption.
Here to seek a grant of about 2.4 million naira to run a food delivery app business in Asaba. Right now we have an app called Olili Food, and they are the only ones in Asaba. Jumia Food is just trying to get into the business, but most fast foods I notice are not really okay with them. I don't know why, but I really know that this is the best time for us to get into the market.
50 businesses were selected for grant awards of up to $5,000. Testaments from beneficiaries confirm the program's success.
I am Ememon Deoji. I'm the owner of the Famous Apparel. This program, I got to know about it through Facebook, and it is a very enlightening program. I really love it because I'm learning a lot. We are still in the camp. We are enjoying everything. The surrounding, the environment is very conducive. I'm really enjoying this one. So I am looking forward to benefiting from this program. Even if I didn't get the grant, at least the knowledge. They say no knowledge is a waste. I've been able to get some knowledge which I can explore to my business, so I can prosper in the next.
I came to know about Konak Foundation through Facebook. Thank you very much, Konak Foundation, for giving me the opportunity to be here.
My name is Isanuhu
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on StarTimes Channel 176, Nightcomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. The sound of your city. Rooted in truth, driven by impact.
Magic has hit your imagination of TV. A brand new sundial with StarTimes inbuilt technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTimes antenna and satellite signal. StarTimes Sundial TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTimes highest bouquet for free, automatic system update. More benefits, more affordable. StarTimes Sundial TV is available in all StarTimes branches and dealers countrywide. StarTimes Inside, entertainment inbuilt.
The push and everything, we were the first set to be picked for surgery, and the team, everybody, they're so amazing. I'm grateful, like beyond grateful. I don't know how to express it, but God knows I'm grateful.
So we have everybody seated, like we said. This is day 2, and it's a lot more coordinated today with all these people here. So these are all a cross section of people that are ready for today, and we trust God that it's going to be a fantastic day.
There you go. Massaging those muscles right there, your paraspinals, right on the side of your lumbar spine, your low back.
I've already made up my mind,
have the faith that I'm going to go there. God is with me. Some of my friends here, they always pray for me, say that I'm going to go there and come out. So,
Amen. Amen.
Since
Correro, your front row seat to the most pressing issues from the corridors of power to the heart of our communities. We bring you unfiltered insight, fearless journalism, and the conversations that matter. And I invite you to this big conversation table as we analyze the top stories, ask the tough questions, and hold power to account. News that informs, analysis that empowers, debate that drives change. Correro, the big conversation, every weekday at 7 p.m. only on Rapid TV.
In a world where every swipe, click, or tap is shaping our future, technology is no longer a distant dream. It is the heartbeat of Africa and the world at large. From innovations to gadgets to startups and digital lifestyle, Tech Up with Victor takes you round. A show that makes technology simple, practical, and exciting for everyone. Join us every week on Rapid TV as we break down tech trends, spotlight African innovators, and connect Africa's digital story to the global stage. Tech Up with Victor, where innovation meets you.
Rapid TV, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
My name is Akio Sakido.
Hey guys, this is Anto Lecky.
My name is Leo Bliss.
My name is Akava. Go by the name Baba D.
And you're tuned into Rapid TV. And I love Rapid TV.
Shout out Rapid TV. Thank you, Rapid TV. Please keep watching
Rapid TV. This is
Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Keep watching. Keep it melt down.
Leave it like that.
Are you missing out on interviews, music, entertainment, thought-provoking discussions, and more? Don't sweat it, man.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Rapid Done right here on Rapid Television. Of course, thanks to Victor Ejema for keeping us updated in the world of sports. My name is Victor RK.
My name is Martha Alu. Good morning to you, and I hope you've been having a good day so far. We're up for the 9 o'clock hour. Business of the day.
Of course, and of course, it's time for the big conversation. And today we are looking at a major intervention in Nigeria's struggling power sector, where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved a 3.3 trillion naira debt settlement plan to clear long-standing obligations owed to players across the electricity value chain. And this debt, built up over nearly a decade from 2015 to 2025, have left generation companies unable to operate optimally, gas suppliers unpaid, and the entire system starved of liquidity. Now, the federal government says this settlement will serve as a full and final resolution, with implementation already underway. 2.3 trillion naira in agreements has been signed, and over 500 billion naira raised, and more than 200 billion naira has already been disbursed. But the key question rather remains, will this translate to real, consistent power supply, or is it another bailout in a cycle of recurring crisis? And beyond funding, are the structural challenges in the sector being addressed? Well, to help us unpack this, we are joined by Ortega Ogra, SSA to the President on Digital, New Media and Strategy. Good morning to you, Ortega. Thanks for being here with us. Hello, Ortega. Good morning.
Can you hear us? Kindly unmute your mic just so that we can proceed with the conversation. Good morning to you, Ortega. Oh, no. We still are finding it difficult to hear you. If you can hear us, please kindly unmute your mic just so we can get on with the conversation.
Okay, whilst that is being sorted out, we are going to be talking with Ortega, talking about the 3.3 trillion naira money that has been approved by the President of Nigeria, of course, for the electricity sector, to sort out the issues in the electricity sector. And again, this has spanned from 2015 up until 2025, and all like this to ensure that our power sector get to generate their power as much as possible, and to resolve the issues and the challenges going on in the power sector. And of course, we're going to be having this conversation with Ortega just in a moment. But let's quickly go on a break. When we'll come back, we'll dive straight to that conversation.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on Star Times Channel 176, Nightcomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN, the sound of your city. Rooted in truth, driven by impact.
My name is Faith Daffa Joseph.
Name is Martha Alu.
My name is Victor Arki.
My name is Divine Alex.
My name is Esther Omen.
My name is Arthur James Brooks.
My name is Godwin Sunday.
I am Ijoma Victor.
My name is Cynthia Agbo.
Josephine Bitru.
I bet you already know that this
is Rapid Television.
Time is power. Our lives are powered by the sun. As the sun rises, so do we. As we trust it to rise and set without any worries interrupting your morning with our hybrid all-in-one inverter, powering our prosperity and happiness.
Making the shell. Start time solar.
But also nurture what is dear to us, powering trust and support, empowering us to do things that really matters.
Welcome back. You're still watching Rapid On right here on Rapid Television, and we are joined by Ortega Ogra. Hello, Ortega. Good morning to you once again. I was still finding it difficult to hear you.
Good morning.
All right, that's good. We can hear you better now. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes. Good morning, and thanks for joining us on the show this morning.
All right, let's talk about the 3.3 trillion naira that has been pegged. The total legacy debt, is being pegged for the power sector. Can you walk us through the verification process, of this 3.3 trillion naira, and how confident are we that this figure reflects the total amount that has been owed to the power sector?
So I'll just take you through the timeline of this and how we got to 3.3 million. Thank you very much. Good morning. So between 2015 and 2025, there were claims of about 4.7 trillion naira from the sector that were accumulated, from services they provided, to customers and for the subsidies that they were to get to meet up their costs. As of July 2024, the president acted on a policy paper for the industry and requested that some form of verification starts. By July 2025, we had a meeting with all stakeholders, and they came and presented their bill of 4.7 trillion. And then he recommended actually that amount should be verified, should ensure that no costs that were not part of the initial costs or that were not part of their regular service delivery be removed. So in August, FEC met, and FEC approved the 4 trillion naira cap to take care of that legacy debt. Between August 2025 and January this year, that verification was done, and that led to meetings we had with all the stakeholders, and that led to a 3.3 trillion negotiated settlements with all of them, which is about a 30% decrease from the 4.5 4.7 trillion, that was initially brought to bear for this thing. For the governments, it was important that we removed all extraordinary, amounts that were on their books, and that did not reflect, that went beyond what we call verifiable service delivery claims. So all those were removed, and that was negotiated with all the various GENCOs or gas suppliers, as the case may be, and that came down to 3.3 trillion. It was important that we balanced fairness to the operators with fairness to the Nigerian people. That was very, very key for Mr. President. And then we decided to say, how do we pay this back? Does the government dip its hand in the treasury and pay back, such a huge amount of money, 3.3 trillion negotiated settlements as a whole? Or do we find a market-based approach, a market-based settlement approach to fix this? And that was what we went to, using the capital markets, using government bonds and everything. And the first phase of that project, this capital raise and, settlement of these debts was for 1.23 trillion naira. Out of that 1.23 trillion, for the first phase, we did a series one, which closed on January 8th of this year, 2026, of 501 billion, which was successfully raised. It was from that 501 billion that just above 200 billion was paid to some people. 197 billion is currently being verified, and then the rest is has been reserved for payment for sending other legacy payments. Now, as of January 8th, when that initial series closed, you had 5 GENCOs,
yes,
who were controlling about 14 power plants, already signed their negotiated settlement agreements. So when people say, oh, GENCOs are not, coming up on this project, they're not signing on this project, the numbers tell a different story. As at March 31st, which is just, last week, 2026, that number had grown from 5 GENCOs to 8 GENCOs, across 17 power plants, who have signed the negotiated service level agreements of 2.2 trillion or 2.22 trillion. That number, that's a fact. So what you have left is, less than 30% of the total negotiated service settlement agreements that is outstanding, to be paid. So this is something that the government has been very rigorous, in pursuing, because we understand that paying these legacy debts is critical to the bankability of the system. We understand that, the GENCOs need gas to be supplied to them. We understand that more investments need to be done at every level of the power, the power sector value chain. And this can only be done if the system itself is viable. And that is why we've decided to use a market-based settlement approach that is transparent, that anyone can track, and all Nigerians can be a part of. And that is fair to both the operators and the Nigerian people, who we have a responsibility to protect.
All right, thank you so much, Otega, for that explanation that you have done. Now, while you say this, there have been publications online that tells quite a different story, not necessarily a different story, but there was a publication in May, on the 17th of May of 2024, by major newspaper outlets that published that this same amount of 3.3 trillion naira was approved by the government to pay these debts off. So how do we have that reflect on major headlines in 2024 and still have that reflect yet again in 2026? Can you help us explain where this confusion is coming from?
So I can't take responsibility for any individual that reads headlines without reading the body copy, or that chooses not to, follow a process, as the case may be. The business of making payments or managing a treasury of a government is process-based. Once you have verified something, there's a payment process that goes to it. There's an approval process that goes with it.
Okay.
If they said that amount had been paid, where was the FEC approval for it? FEC approval only came August 4th, 2025.
Okay.
And that FEC approval set a 4 trillion cap based on, initial reviews. Because we had to go back and look at all the data that was that formed the claims of 4.7 trillion. The president only met them, you know, at the middle of last year. That's all the stakeholders, and they brought their 4.7 trillion claim. So at the end of the day, that was gone. We went back, looked at those claims, reviewed the claims, and we came down to a negotiated settlement of that amount. And the government has been very clear and has been very, you know, extremely clear and transparent with every step of the way. If you go to the State House website, statehouse.gov.ng, and check for archived, you know, reports on these meetings, archived press releases on this, you will see clearly where the process of this is stated. You will see clearly where the meeting, the presidential meeting with the stakeholders were held and what was said. You will see clearly the press release that was released after the fake approval was given and stated clearly the cap as well as the process that we'll be using to solve this for this issue. So I think on the government side, we have done our best to remain as transparent as possible. And you also need to understand that we're in the season where propaganda moves. So we need to be very careful. We need to also check the source of our documentation, check the source of whatever it is we're putting out, you know, to be able to properly situate an issue.
All right, let me
as
just...
we speak.
All right, Otega, you know, let me just take that...
Series 1, Phase 1...
All right, Otega, let me just...
501 billion, and people have been guessing paid.
All right, let me just take it down from there, because when you say that you have to check your facts, you have to make assertions, I do understand that. But you also do need to understand that some of these things are published on major news headlines, and we have proof for that. It is being put out on the social space. It is your responsibility to educate the masses on what that is about. Those headlines that were published in 2024 said that the money had been approved. So it is a case of, oh yes, it has been approved, but it has not been disbursed, because we understand that it is due process. So it is not about fake news. It is about what is in the social space and how you try your best to ensure that the right information is being put out in the social space. You also have a responsibility to that. It's not just thrown to the masses. Now let me move to the very second question I have to ask this morning. Now I see that, okay, you have explained the structure in which you're set aside to sort out this problem, but we are thinking about sustainability, particularly in the power sector, and we have seen a lot of back and forth in the power sector. You know, the Minister of Power had been dragged time and again because of some of the excuses that are being made as to why we don't have enough power generation. Now, from the federal government, they have said that the power sector's debt has accumulated due to tariff shortfalls and subsidies, legacy debt owed to the federal, owed to the GENCOs rather, some of these other issues that have led to the accumulation of this debt. Now, what is the government doing to ensure that if this is offset, we don't have another system, or we don't have another situation where this debt is piled and we start talking about how to sort this out? So remember, I said the focus is sustainability. How do we plan on working on this?
So solving this is going to be predicated on 4 pillars.
All right.
The first one is targeted support for, you know, the vulnerable, because we understand that at the end of the day, power is expensive anywhere in the world. We understand that they will still need to have some way, you know, to reduce the cost of power that is going to them. And we're doing that, you know, ensuring availability of that for their households, whilst, you know, on their second hand, we're, you know, investing in the sector. The second one is tariff reforms. You know, in terms of tariff reforms, what we've done is align, you know, those on the higher service bands, Band A and Band B, closer to cost-reflective tariffs.
Okay.
You know, the bankability of the sector is predicated on people being able to pay, you know, the cost-reflective tariffs of the power they receive. How we're productive without power is another conversation. But we've aligned that, and that has been done, you know, over the past 2 years, I believe. And what that does is it enables more investors to come in because they can see the books that are closer to what, you know, aligns with, you know, global averages in terms of power consumption, paying for power and everything, and expands access to higher quality of service. The third thing would be investments in infrastructure. There are a lot of, you know, concurrent projects that are going at the same time, you know, as well as the accelerated, you know, deployment of metering. You have the DISRA program, you have the presidential metering program. Sorry?
I was asking. You said
smart meters, deployment of meters.
All right.
You know, as of 2023, you had we had 12 million, registered customers across, the grid, and we only had 5 million of that, about 5 million of that, that were metered.
Okay.
Previous metering initiatives only added about, I think, 2 million, between 2.5 million meters to the system.
Okay.
So what we need to do is accelerate that. You have 2 major programs that are ongoing that are ensuring that, we are able to, accelerate metering for people, because it's only when you can meter adequately that you can actually get the proper revenue that is accruable to you, and, also seek investments in the sector. And then the fourth one is, operational efficiency. You have to ensure that settlements are done on time. You have to ensure that there's payment discipline, not just from government, but even from consumers of power, whether it's industries or SMEs or individuals. You have to ensure that all those things are there, and then you also need to ensure that the grid itself is more efficient. Currently, Nigeria has a capacity to produce, about 13 gigawatts of power. That's 13,000 megawatts of power. How much of that are we trunking? You understand? How much of that is getting to people? So on the production side, yes, we have the capacity to produce a lot of electricity. On the transmission side, we're currently being able to, transmit, I think, between 4 and 8 gigawatts of power. That's 4,000 to 8,000 megawatts. But on the distribution side, we can only currently take about 4,000.
Okay.
A lot of these parallel reforms that we've done in the past few months, what it has done is, despite the fact that there's not been that much investment in the power sector, we've seen improvements in terms of service delivery, in terms of power to the people, especially those that are paying the higher cost-reflective tariffs. That's
all right, Otega. Okay, Otega. I would just interject there, because I was going to do that when you made mention of the fact that the people who consume the power also need some sort of payment discipline, and now you made mention of the fact that you are doing what it takes, or you're trying your best to generate power, and then it has been generated, especially for band A and band B. And I can say to you, Otega, that I am a band B consumer of electricity, and I do not have 22 hours of electricity. Okay, so because in certain regions, right, there is more power, and I cannot explain why some enjoy more than others, even though we are all on band A and we're paying more. We are expected to pay more because we are expected to have more power where we are, but that is not the case. So when you say that you're trying, it is better, and it is more stable, I would need more explanation on that, because this is not the word on the streets. Remember, your analysis should come from your ability to interrogate the people who consume this power.
My analysis should come from the facts and the data as is.
What is the fact? What is the fact? The fact is,
and the facts remain that. May I speak, please? The facts remain that for band A, you're expected to get between 20 to 24 hours of light per day. For band B, you're expected to get between 16 to 20 hours per day. However, in the event that you're not getting that, there are consumer protection, rules for you.
Okay.
And all you need to do is report to the regulator. Even though the regulator tracks, and over the past 2 years since they started this, you have seen a lot of, discos drop customers within a certain band, within a certain, area, from the bands that were, simply because they did not meet their service level agreements. You've seen a lot of discos being charged huge sums of money simply because either they do not meet their service level agreements with the people within that band, or they still kept people on that band despite not informing them of any disruptions to their service. So you see, it's a two-way street.
Okay.
The data is there. More people get this power every day, and every month the Nigeria Electricity Regulation Commission they release the data. However, if your area is not getting what you're meant to be in, and you're still being charged, you have a right to a refund. You have a right to report and be dropped from that band, pending when, because if they drop your area from that band, there's also less revenues for the disco.
Okay.
So they have a responsibility to ensure that they're giving you What's the service level agreement to your
But
area
the data
states?
is not translated.
And you have a
That's the
right.
question.
Yes.
You talked about
No,
data.
I
You
would
talked about
disagree with
data.
that. Exactly. And
You talked about data, but if the data is not
I'm sure
translated,
you have a research team on board right now. You have a research team on board in the studio right now. They can go to the NERC page or any of the social media handles and check for the latest data on this. They can see the number of people on each band. They can see those areas
the data. Otega, you have the data. But I'm talking about translation of data.
Don't forget that.
Okay.
And I have a lived experience of this. Where I stay in Lagos, I'm on a band B. Where I stay in Abuja, I'm on band A. Where my office is in Abuja, where my team sits in Abuja, they're on band C. And I can experience this. I am a user across 3 bands in Nigeria on this. If I am not getting that 20 to 24 hours of power where I'm on band A, then I know there's an issue. Last month, for instance, I paid my bills and then I realized that I was getting charged less. The amount of money I paid that would normally last me 3 to 4 weeks, what I paid last month, it's still I'm yet to even use half of it because I realized that they had taken down our band from A to B.
Okay.
All right.
And that is there. That is a fact. That is my truth.
Okay. All right, Otega. Let's talk about
the experience as a Nigerian. I'm not going to
but this is one of how many percent of people.
This is not data. So the question you should ask, as a reporter who is on this show asking these questions, is how many people are on those bands?
Otega,
people that you're saying are on the streets. Do you know what bands they're on? Let's be analytical in our approach.
I live in an estate. I'm not the only person who lives there. So when I speak to you, I'm also not speaking to you based on speculations of what I have heard from people.
And again, there are protections for you and your estate.
Hold on. I'm speaking to you based on, you talked about your personal lived experience. So I'm speaking to you based on the data that has been gathered from the experiences of the people that I have interacted with. So if you have enough power supply, this is 1% of the many others who have that complaint. And yes, you say that there are protection rights that you can go complain to. Please, maybe I may not make conclusions or speculations as to whether or not that is going to be functional, but be rest assured that I will go through that entire process of issuing an official complaint to see how it is being resolved, and I will most definitely get back to you on that.
All right. Now, moving on to the other question.
Thank you very much. I would really appreciate you doing that because that's the only way we strengthen systems in this country.
Absolutely.
You have to test the system. You have to see that the system works.
Absolutely.
And we'd like to hear the feedback from that so that if there are gaps, we can fix that.
Absolutely.
Otega, let's now talk about the implementation of the 3.3 trillion naira that has been approved by the president. Now we see, of course, that over 500 billion has been raised and over 200 billion has been disbursed. Now, what is the time frame for the full payment of these, and then which of the companies are being prioritized as we speak?
So, like you already know, the disbursement program or principle is tied to 3 things. It's phased, it's conditional and strictly tied to those that have, signed the negotiated settlement agreements. As that's when, the first series 1 of phase 1, which is the 501 billion was raised, you had, like I said earlier, 5 GENCOs as well as 14 power plants already signed their service level agreements. Their settlement agreements. And the total cost of that bucket was in the range of about 800 plus billion naira. Of that 800 plus billion naira, we went to the markets. The entire series 1, the entire phase 1 is about 1.2 trillion. And we went to the markets to test the markets for 501 billion. That was raised. Of the 501 billion, I think we've done 223 billion has been disbursed. So some of the companies that have already signed the negotiated agreement at that point in time, 197 is waiting verification. But the most important thing is between then and now, don't forget that there's a phase 2 to raise the second. There's a series 2 to raise the second phase of the second series of the first phase, which is the remainder of the 501 that was that was raised. So that will take care of everybody that signed as at that point in time. You know, don't forget I said the total then was about 800 and something billion. What we're going to see now is the raising of the Series 2, and then based on the number of those that signed as at March 31st, we'll come back to the markets because, like we said, it's a markets-based approach to raise the funds for that. Investor appetite is high on it. You know, Nigerians are willing to partake in it, and it's not a grant, it's not a loan. You know, it's money that has been raised to sort out this without having any negative impact on both the treasury or the operations of government, and we'll continue to be transparent in our dealings related to that.
Let's talk about how it affects the people.
So as to the companies, those were the companies that got. Yes, please go ahead.
Let's talk about how it affects the people, right? How does this payment affect the everyday Nigerian right now? Are we should we be expecting low payment when it comes to tariff, low tariff payment right now after all of this debt has been settled? Hello, Ortega.
So, like I said, tariff reforms for now are mostly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead, please.
Like I said, tariff reforms are mostly targeted for now at those at the higher level bands, especially industries and high net worth areas who get certain levels of power, so they are meant to pay the cost reflective tariffs. As to the poor and most vulnerable, they will continue to get some form of support from the government in terms of paying their bills and all that. So, but beyond that, the most important thing is that a more bankable sector, because these debts have been settled, these obligations are being cleared, or there's a clear transition from the legacy debts to them being settled, and people can see it. It simply means that across the entire power sector value chain, more investors will be willing to come in. The operators now have more money to invest in their operations, and if they invest in their operations, that would definitely lead to improved power service delivery, even just from operational efficiency alone, without further investments in the sector from the government side. So it's a cyclical issue. Everything needs to work together, but this most important is that these debts, the clearing of these obligations, would lead to a more bankable power sector that will be able to provide more services to Nigerians.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Now, we know that the government is trying its part to ensuring that we have sustainable power, right? And I believe that the only way that this can be sustained is if the key players can be held accountable at every point. So what accountability measures exist for discos that fail to improve service delivery despite the government's intervention?
Like I was, we were just speaking a couple of minutes ago, and I said, there are regulators, at least for those still under the regulatory coverage of the federal government. Don't forget that under the new Electricity Act, a lot of power has been devolved. The authority to regulate the system has been devolved to the states. But there are still a lot of areas under the coverage of NERC. So for those under NERC, the rules are very, very clear. In terms of how you give power to people, ensuring that people get metered, ensuring that you meet your service level agreements with, depending on the service bands, with whatever area that you're covering. And when you don't do that, the penalties are pretty much clear. I've seen reports come online, which we forwarded, to the regulators, and they took action immediately. I know at least three, three discos that have been charged, even publicly, based on that failure to either meet their service level agreements and retain people on those bands, or didn't follow the proper process for when you're going to have a service disruption in an area, when you know that your service level agreement is going to be breached. There are processes, there are steps to take as a disco to inform your consumers. When you fail to inform them, or even when you do inform them, there are still additional steps to take if it's going to extend beyond a certain period of days or time. When you now fail to do that and you still keep people on that band without dropping them to the lower band, then you are penalized by the regulator. Those are very clear, and I think Nigerians should test the system more and see whether it will work for them.
All right. Let's also talk about this debt settlement, this 3.3 trillion naira debt settlement right now, accumulated for a period of 10 years, from 2015 up until 2025. Now, what is the government doing to ensure that this doesn't reoccur, this doesn't happen anymore, where debt is being accumulated, and after 5 years or 10 years, we begin to raise another 3.3 trillion naira in debt settlement?
So, like we've spoken about this just earlier, when I spoke about, the pillars, which is tariff reforms, targeted support to people, investments in infrastructure, which includes metering, which includes new investments in on the operators' ends, and the fourth one, which was improving operational efficiency of the entire grid. The government will do its best to continue to offer that targeted support. But metering, again, I repeat it, is very important. It's very critical to ensuring the bankability of the sector.
Okay.
Tariff reforms are already done. Some sections of the country already pay cost-reflective tariffs. That is already done. That is very clear. And for as long as we can ensure that, collections are properly done, collections are transparent and clear, then, more than half of the problems that we have in terms of settlement of bills are done. You see, a lot of these legacy debts were from estimated billions, for instance.
All right. Thank you so much, Otega.
And that is why President Tinubu has wanted to push for metering.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time today. We do appreciate you, Otega. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.
We've been speaking with Otega Ograbi, the SSA to the President on Digital, New Media and Strategy, and of course we've been talking about the legacy debt, which is around 3.3 trillion naira, which the President also has approved on this. Out of that money, 500 billion naira has been raised, and over 200 billion naira has been paid, has already been disbursed. But of course, Otega gave us some answers to some of the questions that we also asked him. What's your conclusion as well?
Well, why I was very particular about asking how these data translates to the life of the common man, because we are so big on data in this part of the world. Or data shows, statistics shows, or the level has dropped, the inflation rate has dropped, hunger level has dropped by 5%. But you don't see that translated in the lives of the common man. And that is why the question will always be, how does this translate to easing the burden on the common man? Because at the end of the day, if these interventions are being done and there is no measurable increase or improvement in the distribution of power to these metering systems or to these distribution companies and then to the consumers, it is shadow boxing at the end of the day. So when we say that, it has improved, how has it improved? How did you get that information? Because you remember, when the conversation of electronic transmission of results came about, we're talking about how, it can have a glitch, it can have a glitch. It is computer, right? Yeah. It's not human. But we don't want to see that in other key industries or agencies like this. It can also glitch. Why do you think that the data you get from this system or how you generate your data cannot glitch? The most authentic source of data would be being able to access the improved nature of power generation or power supply to most households. And you can tell. Much as we think that a lot of Nigerians get to complain about things that are not working rightly, but when things work, they also talk about it. And I'll give you a very critical example. Every time you go online and you're trying to do an analysis or you're trying to look at a governor, Alex Otti always comes up. I don't live there. I don't know about, the experiences of those people there. But if the people within that state and within those communities are able to testify that their lives have become better, then there's actually improvement. Regardless of what the data says, the people who live in those environments, the people who are directly affected by the policies that are introduced by the governor and the people, key stakeholders in that state, are testifying or attesting to the fact that the quality of their life has improved.
Right.
How would you doubt such a data?
Of course, you've seen that these people are having the lived experience as it is.
Exactly. And lived experience is completely different. What your data has gathered, it's good. Data is great. Data generation is good. But you need to be able to get accurate data. And those data should be verified. verified through an analysis of the lived experience of the people who are directly influenced by the policies that are being introduced.
Very true. And he talked about the capacity that Nigeria actually has when it comes to power generation, and he said we have the capacity to generate about 13,000 megawatts of power, but currently, most prominently, we generate around 5,000 megawatts of power. And we've talked about this over time. We have 200 million plus people in Nigeria. There is no way that a 5,000 megawatts of power can actually serve the entire nation as it is. And do recall, I mean, some of these is also being distributed out there to neighboring companies, countries rather, who also relies on Nigeria for power generation. Now, beyond all of this, some of the challenges we also have is the structure. What are the structural reforms that are coming on board? Now, you talked about the metering and all of that, the tariff reforms and all of that. But again, can this be fully implemented that every Nigerian out there can actually get to feel and experience the outcome of this legacy debt that's been settled right now?
This metering system should also be critically verified or analyzed. This is the same country we are that the normal meters are being tampered with.
Right.
People tamper with the meters. People still do that.
Of course.
So it is not only a government problem. It is also a consumer problem. So if you live in an environment and you are using power and you don't want to pay for that power, you are also part of the problem. So we should have, like he said, we should have some level of accountability and responsibility when it comes to payment for power. And you know that a lot of consumers will claim that it's because you say I'm on band A and you're not giving me the required number or estimated power supply and what have you. And when I say I don't even get 22 hours of power supply, it's not because the entire day it is short for 22. There are days when you have all 22. There are days when you don't even have up to 6. The power goes out for a long period of time. And he's talking about the fact that, the distribution company should be able to lower you from band A to band B when they are unable to meet with the requirement of band A. Please be honest. How can this? They already have problem with this entire metering thing, or band A, band B. Some people in band A claim that they are being charged as band B, but they are giving the power supply. So there's still a lot of reforms, like you said, that needs to be done in the power sector. Reforms from the coffers of the government, or the necessary, or the key stakeholders when it comes to generation and distribution of power, and then consumers. We all must be held accountable if we need the power to work. You talked about being able to receive 13,000 megawatts of power, but distribution is capacity, but distribution is about 5,000. And I remember explaining here, I think a few days ago, that it's about our grid. Our grid needs to be able to have a capacity that can sustain that 13 megawatts or whatever, that we can increase that number if our grid is able to take it. But imagine that we are able to have about 15 or 16 or 20,000 and the grid we have is not able to accommodate that number. You see, it will not be able, you cannot generate it. The grid will collapse. It's just like you putting an overload of something. You obviously can see that it is driver and 4 persons, and you are carrying driver and 8 persons. You see that there will definitely be a problem because there's an overload in the system. So I think generally it is just basic reforms that should be done in the power sector. Critical areas needs to be paid attention to, both from the powers, the coffers of the generators, the key stakeholders, the key players, and the consumers as well, because we all share in the blame.
Definitely. With that being said, this is all we're going to be taking on the Rapid on this morning. Do remember that you can follow us on our social media pages across all platforms at Rapid TV. And you can get to watch our episode on YouTube, which is at official Rapid TV. And wherever you are in the world, you can watch us live using our website www.arabianradiotv.com. My name is Victor. Okay.
My name is Martha Alu. Thanks for joining us on the show, and we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news.
From the heart of Africa, where dreams are born and passion is boundless, a new wave of talent rises. In La Liga, these extraordinary athletes are not just playing the game, they're transforming it.
Could he get the man chasing? It's Lamine Yamal! What a magnificent goal that
They
is!
shine on the world stage. Watch as they redefine football, inspire millions, and make history. La Liga, where dreams become reality.
Before the headlines, before the borders, there was a region built on vision. A land where bronze spoke history, where harvest meant unity, and tradition shaped identity. Leadership was earned. Order was sacred. Education was a foundation. Through conflict and sacrifice, the Eastern spirit endured. Today, the story continues. New voices, new perspectives. Sing resilient rhythm. Eastern Circle, our roots, our rhythm.
Yes, it's another beautiful day right here on Eastern Circle. It's always lovely each time we come here to talk about Southeast generally. And today's day I'm really excited about. I mean, we're in that time of the month where we talk about women, where we celebrate women, we celebrate the female gender. I mean, this month is just known about women this, women in power, women in business, women in leadership. Oh my God, I could go on, and I love this month especially, I must tell you. Well, today on Eastern Circle, I would like to warmly welcome you once again. Thank you for joining us on this special edition of Eastern Circle. Well, across several communities in Southeast, we have certain professions that have been traditionally associated with men. I mean, I'm talking about professions like carpentry, mechanics, construction, even welding. I mean, there are lots of them that are being traditionally associated with men. But now when you see how things are going, you see women stepping into these professions, yet there are challenges and there are limitations. And we see how people who are trying to accept the fact that women can also get to do all these things. Well, today on Eastern Circle, we're asking one question: what happens when women decide to step into these traditional professions that are associated with men? I'm talking about women in unconventional businesses right here in Southeast. Well, I'm excited to have this conversation, and indeed to talk about this topic. I am not alone in the studio, of course. I am with me, the lovely lady. I've been looking forward to having her on Eastern Circle. I'm talking about Clara Oluchi Tobias. She is a female NGO founder, and she's an advocate for women, I must say. So you can see that women are taking the lead right now in Southeast. Clara, it's so lovely to have you on Eastern Circle.
Thank you so much, Fisoma. I am delighted to be here with you. I've actually been looking forward to also be here with you, and I must say that, yeah, I'm happy.
Oh, the feeling is sincerely mutual. I mean, you are a woman that I know get to speak for our gender, so it's truly an honor to have you here in Eastern Circle. By the way, you look lovely, as you always do.
Oh, okay. I'll take that, you know, like you said, this is the month for the women. So, yeah, after glow, I'm a woman.
I saw you did that. And you need to clock it for me, lovely.
Of course.
Okay, so you've seen a guest for today. I know you're really excited about today's conversation. Well, right now, we will be going on this very short break. And when we return, we will start up excitedly and beautifully. Well, this is Eastern Circle, and I am Fisoma Lewis.
Before the headlines, before the borders, there was a region built on vision. A land where bronze spoke history, where harvest meant unity, and tradition shaped identity. Leadership was earned. Order was sacred. Education was a foundation. Through conflict and sacrifice, the Eastern spirit endured. Today, the story continues. New voices, new perspectives. Sing resilient rhythm. Eastern Circle, our roots, our rhythm.
Yes, welcome back from that very short break. It is still Eastern Circle on Rapid TV. Well, I am Fisoma Lewis, and like I earlier said before we went on that very short break, today we are exploring women in Southeast who are venturing into unconventional businesses, what we call unconventional businesses. Now we are in a part of the world, I mean the Igbo land, where we know our story, we know our history, we know how women used to be perceived, that people who are meant to be in the house, keep the home, you know, make food for the children, for the husband, and not people who actually get to go out there and earn a living, you know, have something attached to the name aside the wife and the mother and the woman thing. You know, it's a beautiful thing that we're seeing women who are now making strides in the industry, starting to venture into different businesses in carpentry. And of course, in the studio with me is my guest, Clara, like I earlier introduced her. Yes. So Clara, we're starting out immediately. I want to understand the concept about women, these unconventional businesses. Now, like I earlier said, that we're not having women who are venturing into these unconventional businesses. What do you think, from your perspective, is actually driving these shifts?
I'd say globally, the world is moving fast, you know, and seeing women venturing into the unconventional works, like you said, because to me, I don't see that unconventional anymore, because there will be a lot of them doing it. So I wouldn't tag it unconventional. It's already a conventional thing, because of course there are a lot of them out there. So I would say that one of the drive is actually the passion. You know, over time people grow up, and then there's this thing about passion. And this is one of the things that drive people to do what they do, whether be it a man or a woman. Passion drives you to be where you ought to be. Then, of course, poverty. Nigeria is not smiling. And the fact that a lot of this white-collar job, as you would say, is not really coming forth as it used to be. You have to venture into any skill that you have passion for. Even if you don't have passion, you find passion while at it. And then I would say poverty, passion, and of course the economic situation generally. Wow. So I think that's one of the things that, you know, that is driving, you know, women to the unconventional, even though I said it is no longer unconventional.
Now you're saying that it is no longer unconventional, but I still want to start with that it is unconventional business still, because we are still, despite how civilized we want to be, we still have people who still see women who are in these businesses. Oh, really? I met one, and as a woman, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I was like, really? And that really is not coming from a place of, I don't think you're capable, but you being determined and making the decision that, yes, I want to do this despite the societal, you know, whatever they want to do, how they see you, the view, their perspective about women doing these businesses. I believe that there are still challenges.
Of course, of course.
Can you explore that, please?
Yes, there are a lot of challenges, because being someone who is, like you said, a founder of Female Youth Empowerment Initiative, I would say that I've met a lot of persons in that situation. I know a lady that is a carpenter. I know one that is a painter. I know one that is an engineer, and a lot, you know, and they will tell you that one of the major challenge they have is people who, you know, see them less. I'll use the word see them less, just like you said. You saw someone that
was not me seeing her less. I was intrigued.
I understand, but let me land. Now, you saw someone that what occupation exactly?
Carpentry.
Now, you saw her with a saw, and she is doing the whole man thing, and then you were like, wow. At first, I understand that you said you were wowed, but then there's also a part of you that's like, is this girl really doing this thing? That is doubt, and this is part of the things they face. Now, to you, you turned that doubt into something positive, thereby being very, you know, surprised and happy for her. But then there are a lot of people out there that would also react the same way, but it will be in the negative aspect. Like, you can't do this. And that makes them want to work twice, you know, harder to prove to you that is a doubting Thomas that I can do this shit. And then when they do that, you find that they are the best at it, trust me.
Lovely.
Because as a woman, anything a woman lays her hands on, she nurtures, she works with so much passion. So imagine if a woman is doing carpentry.
But that's true. Well, you just left it on the table for us to just do with it what you mean.
But I'm just being truthful, Pisoma.
Wow.
A woman carries a child, nurtures a child to be a human.
Okay.
How much more with furniture? Imagine what she can do.
The precision, the attention to detail,
exactly,
top notch.
Of course,
really.
Of course.
What about the aspect of finance? You know, we've now looked at the challenge of how people perceive them, what people think about them. But how much are they able to make in this industry?
Okay, let me tell you something. Most times when you see a woman in some of these unconventional business, as you would say, they make a lot of money. Because if you're doubting me and I'm making the furniture and you come to me, man, I'm going to charge you to work twice. You know, I'm going to charge you.
You cannot doubt me because I'm a woman, and then you want me to do this stuff for probably if a man is doing it for 20K. I'm not going to do it for 20K because I'm going to work twice as hard as that man to prove to you that I can do this. So you're going to add money. So I think there's money, and they are making a lot because, like I said, why I actually said that, you know, it is no longer the way it used to be, because most people even want these women to be the one to do their job because they understand that a woman takes her time to do it. It's not like a man that will just, and they are done.
Yeah.
You know, you talked about details, attention to details. I think people are actually, you know, coming to them often. So they are making money. They're making money, I'd say.
Okay. But also, you know, we ladies, we women, we're known to be soft. We're known to be, you know, feminine, very feminine, this soft lady, soft woman energy, you know, exuding that. When they are doing this, the businesses, I feel like it's altered that femininity. So, I mean, it's just my opinion. You're lifting the wood, you're lifting, oh my God, that's not so feminine for me.
Summer, have you seen female players, football players?
I've seen them.
Okay. Have you seen
most of them are stars?
Have you seen them on the field? Have you seen the feminine?
Yeah.
Okay, now I wouldn't say much. Maybe you should just go on Instagram, go on Twitter, search for some of them. When you see them where they are working, you see the whole energy. It is passion. It's not about being girly or not being girly. Yeah. At that point, this is who they are. This is what their passion is. I told you I have a friend that does furniture, right?
Yeah.
You see that girl when she's working, and then you see her after work when she wants to be a babe. You will never know that she is the same person that handled her soul. I am telling you. So it's not just about, it's about the passion, what drives these things. So it doesn't stop a woman from being feminine. It doesn't stop her from being loyal or submissive to her husband at home. It doesn't make her a Margaret Thatcher. No, she's doing that out of passion, but out of passion. So I think it shouldn't define the fact that, oh, because she's doing this, I mean, she's manly. No, they're also very soft.
You know, I will love it. I love the idea entirely that women are stepping up, of course. But I would love it if women are not driven by the idea that since I need a certain level of energy, a certain level of strength to do this, hence I should, you know, behave. I don't like say masculine women.
Oh,
I don't like such. I don't like it. But if there comes a place where they have a balance, like you said, the lady that when she decides to be a babe, she comes out correct. She comes out looking the part. I mean, if you have women who decide to go into these businesses and yet they look beautiful when they decide to be a woman, then fine. I encourage it. I endorse it.
Okay, let me correct something.
Okay.
A woman deciding to dress like a man is a choice. You understand? I think people wear what they are confident in. For you, Priscilla, you're confident. Oh, look how gorgeous you look with your hair all glammed up. But there's someone that wouldn't want to glam up like you are because they will not be comfortable. There are people who are not comfortable with nails. There are people who are not comfortable with the whole lashes. That doesn't make them different from myself.
Okay.
They still have all the genitals as women, but they wear what they feel is comfortable for them. You understand?
Okay.
So I actually wanted to, you know, change because you said something that you don't like, you know, I think it's something you're comfortable with. You understand?
Yeah.
But if people I know, the ones I know, it didn't stop them from, you know, being girly. Even though there are ones also that are not comfortable with the girl clothes and the whole glamming up and looking all girly, but that doesn't still make them, you know, men or bad.
I get your point. Now let's look at how the society is embracing this. I know you're driving a vision where women are allowed to thrive. Women can be empowered to become the best version of themselves. They have all the support they need, they require to succeed, whether it's in conventional business or not. You know, you're striving a vision where they are supported. Now, how do you see the society is accepting this whole innovation? I'm part of the society. I'm a woman. I'm excited about it, but still be a feminine woman. be feminine. However, what's the society think? What are they saying?
Like you said, the society is very, very vast. Is wide. So people are coming to terms with it, while some other persons are yet to come to terms with it. While there are also some people who will never come to terms with it. So, but so far, people are, getting to know that this can be done. Trust me, I know a woman that actually sent her daughter to go and learn from this girl I'm talking about. Wow. So for a mother to see, your sin is working for her. You get, things are happening. Instead of my child to, sell her body or do something bad, go and do the furniture if that's what you want to do. I don't have a problem with that. So if that is what they're going to feed you and put food on your table, why not? So people are coming to terms with this fact that there are females who are into some unconventional businesses and they are okay with it. Like I said, people are yet to, while there are people who will never. But that is what makes it a choice. Not everybody would accept what you want to do. People would like it. Some other people would, eventually do. Why there are people that would never, So I think the world at large, communities are, yes, that is better than what it was before.
Lovely. I'm so excited about that one now.
Before now, now, they wouldn't even want their child to come close to you. I'm not even talking about, anybody that is of the other gender that is doing something that pertains to this other gender. The word is so defined that they decided to share it. Hairdressing is for women, carpentry is for men. But I don't know who actually gave that.
It's just our idea.
So
we came into a world where it's already looking like we're not the beginners. Let me call it beginners. It's like that. So hence everybody just follows it. Even when you look at ants, when they don't even try to find out the person in front, are you actually treading on the right path? They just follow, and that's until one is misdirected, then you see the others follow. Now, I'm a woman, and since this month, and even before and after this month, which we keep saying, women supporting women, competition over, what's it called again? Support over competition. We still have women who are yet to dilute this development, who are yet to, be okay with it. The fact that you're a woman doing this, let's say you're a woman into mechanics, because you're a woman, no, a woman is not meant to be doing this. I'm a woman and I'm not doing this. Why are you doing this? Hence, I wanted to even patronize you. So I want to know, how are our fellow gender supporting these people? How are they encouraging them? How are they welcoming this development? Are they motivated, or they are seeing them as rebels?
I'd say that I'm not in that field, but for what I know, over time they're coming to terms with the fact that this is the new thing, this is the real deal, And just like you said, Pisoma, earlier, you said, oh, you don't like this, but then I understand that wouldn't stop you from seeing when you have an opportunity to help a woman who is in that particular position, probably who is into the unconventional business, as you would say. You wouldn't do it because probably you feel, oh, she's doing a man work, it's not feminine. You would do it. That is actually the support we're talking about. Even if you don't like it, if there's an opportunity to support. And I feel that so far, a lot of women are doing it. Any woman who does not support her fellow woman, she don't understand. So you get, I think that is just it. Women are really supportive. I must say, and like I would always say, it is not as it used to be before. Before, you see women standing against their fellow gender. But right now, no, it's no longer like that. Even though there are still some persons, who are, like I would always say, there are people who will eventually, and there are people that will never. So those, I think they are just of the lesser percentage anyway. So we don't
well, it's very beautiful that we're having this awakening because there is something about women. I'm not saying it's a fact, but based on my relationships and my environment, I've been able to notice that there's one thing about women. There's one thing common. Women can't help being very competitive. Not even with the other gender, with their fellow gender. So I love the fact that there is now a sense of awakening, and I would want us to keep pushing the fact that women should support women, even if, in as much I am of the opinion that if she is right for the job, if she's good enough, then fine. If she's not, I'll go for the other gender. I mean, I want to get the job done.
Of course. And that I talked about, putting an extra effort. The thing is that for a woman to be in a particular space or business that is competitive with, the male gender, she has to be at her very best.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen a woman who does, what is presumed to be what the men should do, and she's not doing it well because they do extra work just to
motivation
to prove to you that they are good. Because if they don't prove it, if they don't prove themselves, you wouldn't know. And it's only when they prove themselves that you'll be able to, share the testimony.
That's
and you go and say, oh, I met this girl did this furniture, and oh wow, she did it so well. And then you tell somebody who will tell another, that will tell another and another. And before you know it, yes. Wow. If she isn't good, I don't think she would go far.
Definitely. I mean,
even a man that is not good in whatever thing they do. Nobody, if you're doing something and you're not good, trust me,
nobody will patronize you.
So
as a woman, just step up. We're not going to use the fact that we're trying to support our gender, that we have to, give in to your mediocrity, give in to your own professionalism.
Not at all.
Oh, it's been a wonderful conversation so far, but let's go on a very short break. Let's take a breather, and when we return, we will further ahead our conversation. Don't go anywhere.
This business is fine. At least since I'm this business, I'm using it to do this for the train of my children and other things. They patronize a woman because they know that woman can do this thing more than the men.
Well, we do have challenges because of lack of money, because some women don't have enough to support their business. So because of that, we have challenges in all around. Even the people that you do business with, if you didn't have the capital, they will eat your money and still fight